Okay, Rabbi, sorry. It is Parshas Emor. Emor is in this week of Emor. First of all, on Wednesday of this week, Pesach Sheni. That is the 14th day of Iyar, which is exactly 30 days after the 14th day of Nisan, called Pesach Sheni, and it was a minor Jewish holiday. Nowadays is nothing, but we remind ourselves of Pesach Sheni. We eat a piece of matzah on the 14th, not on the 15th, because the Pesach Sheni is about the Korban Pesach. They couldn't make the first month. Some people were tummy, so they made it the second month. So the Pesach today, we remind ourselves of the Korban Pesach with the matzah. Therefore, you have to eat the matzah on the 14th before it becomes the 15th. Why? Because the Korban Pesach was a little mouthful of a piece of meat that they ate after the Korban Chagiga. So we eat the afikoman after, which is matzah, after the meal, the bonus of the Korban Pesach. So some hold that you're not Yosef matzah in the beginning, al-chilatz matzah. You only Yosef matzah when you come to afikoman. And you're not Yosef matzah with the korech. You only matzah the third time by afikoman. Because there you have a mitzvah deraisa to eat matzah, and it reminds you of the Korban Pesach that they ate at the end of the meal. So so we have a minute to eat matzah on Pesach Sheni. Also, this week at the end, Motzi Shabbos is Lag BaOmer. And when Lag BaOmer comes out on Sunday, you're allowed to shave on Friday. Get a haircut on Friday. Because why? Because if you're well shaved and groomed on Sunday, that means on Shabbos you look horrible. And that's Mevazah the Shabbos. And hair care can't look better on Sunday than Shabbos, therefore we can shave on Friday. What was Lag BaOmer? Lag BaOmer is the yard side of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, Rashbi, the last Talmud of Rabbi Akiva. He was so great, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I can't tell you all the stories about Rashbi, but during the life of Rashbi, there was never a rainbow. When he died, the rainbow came out to remind us there was never any bow. So kids have a minute to shoot bows with arrows. So because Keshes is a bow and the rainbow is a Keshes. And why was there no rainbow in the life of Hashem Bar Yochai? Why is there a rainbow? Because Hashem told Noah, whenever I'm angry with the world, I want to destroy it, but I won't destroy it with water, so I'll make a rainbow, which is made from sun shining through condensed water, and they are in the sky. And I'll remind myself not to destroy the world, so that'll be the protection. Shimon Bar Yochai was such a tzaddik, he didn't need a rainbow. He was the protection for the door. So there's a minute to shoot arrows from a bow. Also, we make bonfires because he wrote the Zohar, which means light, and bonfires make light. And Shimon ben Yochai is Gematria Mechayim Mason. Famous story I told you, it's in the Sefer Tamim and Hogam, page 623, 1923. Page 623. It was in 1923, in Maron, there was thousands of people, how a child died, and a woman prayed to Shimon Bar Yochai after the child died right there, and the child became alive again. Thousands of people watching this. 1923 in Maron. It's in Sefer Tamim and Hogam, I think it's page 633 or 23. Look at that over there. Hilul of Shimon Bar Yochai, a story. Whole page. And a man testifies he saw it with his own eyes, a kid laying dead, and then he woke up again. After the mother went out and screamed to Shimon Bar Yochai, I never had children, I came here 3 years ago, and I said, if you give me a child, I'll call him Shimon. And she called him Shimon, and now I came for a galachat upsharing, and she upshared, and the next Shabbos was Shabbos. The kid died, turned green, and then she screamed to Shimon Bar Yochai, said, I'm not leaving this place until you give me back the child that I came here Friday. Not Gomer was Shabbos. I think it was Sunday on Gomer, or Friday, whatever. Anyhow, so the kid got alive. Ooh, in front of thousands of people, we can't make this up. So Shimon Bar Yochai brings down there in the Sefer Tamim and Hogam, somebody wrote, Shimon ben Yochai Gematria Mechayim Mason. Even in his own lifetime, he said, no one should be sad on my yard site. He died on Lag BaOmer. Lag BaOmer comes out on Chai. Iyar. 18, right? What a day that is. A day of happiness. Shimon Bar Yochai has the Nitzutzim, the sparks of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Gematria of Moshe, 345. Something to do with Shimon Bar Yochai, 345. Anyhow, let's talk about took care of Pesach Sheni and Lag BaOmer. I want to tell you something that's coming 6 months from now. will be Shemitah. About 5.5 months will be Shemitah. Last time was 2007. Now it's going to be 13, 14. 2030 going to be Shemitah. All right, let's talk about the Parshas of Emor. Emor Sheni. V'yidaber Hashem el Moshe le'emor daber l'Aaron le'emor ish mazarcho. Any child of yours means Kohanim. The doro som asher yir bo mum that has a defect, physical defect. Lo yakrib, lo yikrav, l'hakrib. Don't even think about bringing korbanos. You don't bring on the outside mizbeach and not on the inside mizbeach. Don't bring any avarim or don't bring any dam. Can't get involved in korban. Lechem lav elkov, the food of God. Ki chol ish asher bo mum lo yikorev. Yikra could never bring a korban unless it's a mum over, temporary, that cures itself and it heals. But if it's a permanent mum, never. Ish Iver, and then he mentions 12 different defects: a blind man, or a limping man, or a chorum, or a sorua. And it goes into all types of physical blemishes. Then a few pasukim later, about 10 pasukim, it tells you the animals that have different mumim. Tishim la'adam. There's, according to the Rambam, according to the Parshas Mumim, there's 90 mumim that a human being could have, and a behemoth could have 50 different defects. In the Chumash here it tells you 12, but each one of them has so many ramifications. It's 90 mumim. For instance, Iver is and I'll tell you why we're so makbid on the person or the animal not having a defect. Iver is a blind person in one eye or two eyes, or even a cataract, or astigmatism, or cross-eyed, or tearing, or the eyebrows are not separated, or the eyelids are missing, or the eyes are too big, or the eyes are too small, or it doesn't focus right. The eyes, Iver, blind man. And Piseach, a lame, crippled, paralyzed, any organ is limp. And a chorem, a deformed nose, too long nose, too short, one nostril doesn't open, broken bridges in between, or a sarua, a misshapen limb, or an extra limb, or a missing limb, or a protruding bone from legs or arms, or your neck is too long or too short, eyes are too small, then covers shever, regel, any broken foot, toe, thigh, anything, your foot is too wide or too narrow or too long, or you're bow-legged, and shever yad, any broken ham, arm, shoulder, finger, and then gibane, a bent-over person, a hunchback, too fat, or too long, misformed eyebrows, missing eyebrows, dak, you're very thin, too skinny, or you're a dwarf, or you have a cataract in your eye, you're cross-eyed, or the white goes into the color, or the color comes into the white of the eye, or gerev, you have eczema, boils, hand rash, itches, skin rash, eczema, anything malignant skin disease, or yelefes, you have a ringworm, running sores, pimples, scab, too many freckles, moruach ashef, your organs are destroyed, missing, and all these different things. It includes even you're too black, too cushy, or you're too red-skinned, gichar, or you're albino, halavkon. It's where it says, call ish, any man, have the wrong skin color, or you're deaf, or you're an imbecile, or you're drunk. You can't do that avodah. Excludes prat letreifa. If you're internally a fatal disease, that's okay. Excluding a treifa, which means only external deformations, not internal. Why? If you're a treifa, got a fatal disease, you're not going to live 12 months, you can do that avodah. And prat, it excludes Yosef and you're a cesarean born. Don't notice anything. Only if you notice it. Even a deaf person you don't notice unless you talk to him. He says, huh? Or he can't talk. But that's noticeable if you talk to him. That's why it says Iver. Iver you can see right away, he doesn't know where he's walking. Any external thing will puzzle you to do the avodah, but internal is okay. Wow, if you're a treifa, you have a fatal disease, you can do that avodah. Why is it just externals? If you have a pointed head, no good. A flat head, a protruding forehead, Skull goes in, no good. You know what we're trying to say here? Who represents us? Kohanim and Levim, we both come from Levi. Kohanim cannot represent the Jewish people or if they have a physical defect. That represents Tamimus, perfection. The Jewish people represents physical perfection. That's why you can't tattoo yourself, mess up your skin, or autopsy, take away from the corpse, anything. You have to represent Tamimus, complete, perfect. The VM, they can have every defect in the world, they can function fine, but they have to be fired from their avodah after the age of 50. Age is akad by them. You can be a Kohen Gadol at 98, like 80, but you can't have any physical defects. A Levi can have all the defects he wants, but he can't work after 50. They represent Bachrus, youth. Tamimus and Bachrus. The Jewish nation theoretically should be physically perfect, physically even. That's why I say you shouldn't do all these things to your body. Don't pull out your hair like the guy you do when somebody dies, and don't cut your body with cuts and blood flow. You want to share the grief with the dead. Can't do that. You have to be good looking. Tamimus, perfect physical specimen. And Yam, Bachrus, goes over 50-year-old. So Levi represents Bachrus, and Kohanim represent Tamimus. Why is that? Carbon 2. It has to be perfect. Because the ideal Jew person, after Mashiach comes in, before there was Hester upon him, was the tzaddikim were handsome and Rishoyim were ugly. Now you got Hester upon him, and Rishoyim could look beautiful and tzaddikim look ugly, because it's hidden. We don't know what's behind the mask. God is hiding himself. Ideally, tzaddikim are healthy, strong, and good looking. And Rishoyim are ugly and short and missed and ugly. Karbonos represent getting close to God again, reconnecting that attachment. And there's hints to the word 90 here and to 50. Kol ish asher bo mum, he has a permanent mum, or mum bo, the mum is in him, that's a temporary. He can't function while that even temporary mum is in him. When he goes away, he broke his arm, a few months later it's fixed, then he can what do you call it? He can do the avodah. Lo yikra ish iver, a blind man. He goes through the whole thing. Now let's go to this concept right here. Kiddush Hashem Barabin in Emor. Kiddush Hashem Barabin. At the end, right before Rabbi. Ushmarta mitzvosai, watch my mitzvahs. Lasisam osam, shmir means chazer them over so you don't forget them. Shmarta, watch, you don't forget them. That's chazorim. Shmarta mitzvosai, lasisam, and do them. Learning is not everything; it's the doing. Talmud Torah keneged kulam. Just the theoretical learning. That's the biggest mitzvah. I thought the ikar is to do it. Doesn't say lo hamedrash ha'ikar el ha'maisa. The medrash is not that important learning. It's what you do, the mitzvahs. But it says Talmud Torah, just pure theoretical learning, is more important than anything else. You got a head-on collision here. Is it ein hamedrash ha'ikar el ha'maisa? Or is it Talmud, just a study? Just theoretical study. There's a lot of things in the Torah have no tachlis, never come to, never could be, never was. Here, Hanidachas, Ben Sora, Mora, Negoyim, never happened to any human being. Moshe got it for 1 second, but this whole quarantine was 7 days, and the Kohen and all that never happened to anybody, not to Aaron and Miriam, that was 1 minute. And Gehazi and his son didn't have Tzara, they had leprosy, they died from it, because no one dies from Tzara and the Tzara, so you get cured. It was Yohu HaMelech had it on his forehead, ran into the Kodesh Kodashim, because he thought he was anointed, the Kohen Gadol was anointed, so anointed. Meanwhile, he's from the wrong Shevet, he's from Yehuda, and Kohen from Levi, you can't go in there, so he's going to die. Nabi told him you're going to die, that's your tshuva. So he did tshuva, he lives 15 more years. And David HaMelech had Tzaras on his whole body for 6 months. You either get cured in 21 days or you're dead. So no one had the normal Tzaras, no human being. So why do you learn it? Drush v'kabel schar, darshan it, and learn and get reward for learning how bad Lashon Hara is. Or Hanidachas never happened. And Ben Sora Mora didn't happen. These three things never happened, never could happen. Drush Jewish for couple scars. So you see, some things are theoretical. So I thought you said, Lo HaMedrash Yigur El HaMaisa. Answer is this way. Lo HaMedrash Yigur El HaMaisa. When you build that sukkah and make that filling, put on that filling, and shake that animal, and shake that lulav, and put up a mezuzah, that's learning in a physical way. You're Mekayim the Pasuk. Lo HaMedrash Yigur El HaMaisa. The Maisa is a physical way to prove the Pasuk is right. That's what it means. It's not a contradiction. Lo HaMedrash Yigur. Just not learning for no purpose. That's not good. Learning to do, if you could do them, some of them are never practiced. And these three things over there, Drush, the Kabbalah Schar, but you learn about Lashon Hara, you learn about Chinuch of children, and one the boy goes off the derech, and the other one's Ir Hanidachas, a city that goes off the derech, and 51% of them off the derech and do Avodah Zorah. The whole city's burned down, so it teaches you, watch your neighbors, move out of a bad neighborhood, don't hang around with Shayim. So you learn a lot of things from these things. Would never actually happen, these three things. Answer is Drush for Kabbalah Schar, and there's theoretical Torah too. And what about the practical Torah? Putting up the mezuzah is not ikar. The Talmud Torah connected to them. Talmud Torah means when you get the chance, do that. And that putting it up exactly with shape and how long, that's how you makabel the theory. No, it's not contradiction. Now let's take a look at this passage. Lo Sechal Hashem Kodshi. Don't disgrace my holy name. This is in Emor, right before Rabbi. Let me be hallowed amongst the Bnei Yisrael. Ani Hashem, Hamakadishcha, who make you holy. Hamotzi Eschem Eretz Mitzrayim, who took you out of Mitzrayim. Lios Lechem Lelohim, to beat you to a God. Ani, I will punish if you don't do it. Hashem, I will reward you if you do it. So now we have the thing of Kiddush Hashem Barabim. Either it's called Dover Sheba Kedusha, it has to be Barabim. Kedusha, what we say Daven, and Kaddish, and Kriyas HaTorah, and the Megillah should be done Barabim. It's called Kiddush Hashem Barabim. There's another aspect of this. Lo Zechalalu as Shem Kodshi, don't disgrace my name, and if you don't, automatically, so I'll be hallowed. Says Rashi, La'avor al divrei mezidin. Don't do anything that you know is wrong. Don't do it b'mezid. Mashma shenemar v'lo sechal lelu. Don't just make the Torah profane. Don't make it chilul, hollow. Matam alover nigdashti means, what means make it holy? Don't chal, okay, don't do any aver. What means menigdashti? Mosa atzvcha kodem v'kadish. Give up your life to sanctify my name. Minikdashi is positive. Los chalu is negative. Don't do an averis. Good. What means minikdashti? Mosur atzmacha Rashi. Give up your life. They kaddish me and sanctify my name. Yochel, you would think, but Yochid, I have to do this only by myself. One guy and me. Is forcing me. Tamalom v'soch b'lei Yisrael. V'soch means when there's a minion of 10. Shehu mosa atzmo yimsa atzmo almanas lamus. If it's besoch amongst 10 people, toch is 10. You have to give up your life on the condition lamus to die. Shekol hamosa atzmo amanus hamanas hanes. Anyone gives himself up in order that a nace should happen. Ain't also no nace. You don't do a nace for him. Shekain, Mosinu, Lechanani, Yishol, Bazariah, the three Talmidim of Daniel, they were ready to give up their life, even though they're not Mechuyev. Mosru Atzman Almanas Hanes. Shalom Nos Atzman. They didn't give themselves up to be saved. In Daniel Gimel. The Haim Lo Yodio, they didn't know, Lahu Loch Malka, there's a Malach in that fire that would save them. They were ready to die. Now, they were not Mechuyev to do that, because Nebuchadnezzar is not a god, and they could have bowed down to him. He was only an arrogant person. But he knew that people watching this, they'll think that Nebuchadnezzar is a god. Or Joras later, they'll say, look, the Hanani Mishol Azar bowed down to Avodah Zorah. Meanwhile, he was not a god. But it'll be distorted like that, so they did it, the Kadeshem Shemayim. Number 2, yeah. So since they did it, the Kadeshem Shemayim, they lived. Avram Avinu was ready to go to the Kivshan Aish, and therefore he lived. Motzi eschem. Ma tal melomer al tenai. Hotseisi eschem I took you out of Mitzrayim on a condition. Shemosru atzma, that you'll give up your life. The Kaddish Shemi. Therefore, Nachshon jumped into the water. He thought he was going to drown before Moshe split it. He said, Hashem said, tell Bnei Yisrael to go into the water. Nobody knows going to split, build a split. So Nachshon was ready to die, therefore he lived. Nachshon was a Ben Noach. Torah wasn't given yet. He's ready to Mekadeh Shem Shemayim. Like the three friends of Daniel. They knew that the man was not a god, so we know Avodah Zorah, and they will bow down to the statue, but it looks like Avodah Zorah. They were ready to Mekadeh Shem Shemayim, therefore they lived. And what about Daniel and the Gov Harayos? He's ready to die, therefore he lived. What about Pinchas? Ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen, he wanted to stop the plague that was killing 24,000 people for Benos Moab and Benos Midian. He was ready to die because there were 57,000 people in this tribe of Shimon, and he's going to assassinate Zimri, the Nasi of Shimon. You think he's going to live 2 minutes? He didn't care. He was ready to die, therefore he lived. Haran, Abram's brother, he saw that Abram came out of Kibshon Eith alive. Abram was ready to die, therefore he lived. So Haran saw that he got world famous popularity. He said to Nimrod, okay, I also want to die, I'll Kiddush Hashem, therefore he died. Because he went in order to be saved by a nace. Therefore he died. Abram went in, he didn't care if he's going to die, therefore he lived. If you go in to give you up your life, you live. If you go in to have a nace, you die. Now we get to the great mystery. In 1740, on Shavuos, the Catholic Church, Yimach Shimon, killed the Ger Tzedek on Shavuos. Avram ben Avram, the Vilna Gaon's Talmud, 200 years ago. 250 years ago. How come he didn't live? Vilna Gaon came to him a few days before, I could save you, Alpines. We'll walk out of here, and they won't see him. He said, no, I want to die, Kiddush Hashem. He said to him, what bracha should I say while they're killing me? The one we say every morning before Baruch Shema. It ends with Baruch Hashem, Avakadosh Hashem for Barabim. He wanted to die. If you give up your life in order to die, you were thinking they shall happen, and you'll be saved. But the Vilna Gaon told him, I could save you. Could save you. I don't want to do that. So he had a choice. Maybe if the Vilna Gaon wouldn't have told him that, maybe something would have happened. The fire would have gone out or something, he would have lived. But he wanted to die at Kiddush Hashem. Because I have a theory, in the early part of his life, you know the story, when the father brought a young girl to Vilna, he was never there before, and he walked in the wrong neighborhood where the Christians were, they beat him up and almost killed him, and a bunch of monks came out of the monastery, and this Count Potatsky, who had a very noble family, that was the Avram ben Avram, came out and he stopped the gang from killing them, and eventually he thought about this girl, this little girl looked at him, said, thank you for saving my life. He looked in the girl's eyes, he saw a holy nation, and he said, is there a rabbi I can talk to? He said, yeah, we happen to have in Vilna the greatest rabbi in the world, the Vilna Gaon, Eliyahu. So he got him, he became his Talmud, and then he ran away to Paris and spent 25 years as a Yid till the Catholic Church brought him back and wanted to kill him because the Catholic who converts in 1740 is Chaim. And a famous story, Avram ben Avram, you can get it in all the bookstores. It's a very thing. So K'nikdash V'Zeichna Yisrael means you have to die on Kiddush Hashem. That's only a chuyev if it's barabim. But if it's against the three mitzvahs, even privately. But if they want you to wear red shoestrings, because everybody's wearing red shoestrings, or have long hair because everybody's have long hair, that's not one of the three chamuras. You don't have to die for that, except if they do it barabim as a way of shmad. They want you to eventually give up everything and become a goy, and you have to let yourself be killed. But that is their hashmad, even though there's no minion, no 10 people. But stam like this, you're not going to give up your life unless there's a minion. Kiddush Hashem barabim is in front of 10 people. 10 Yisraelim, 10 goyim, 10 Yisraelim. Okay, Rabbi side. One more thing. Okay, one more thing. Look what it says here. This is what we read every single Yom Tov. What comes up in Rabbi and Emor. Yedav Hashem Moshe Lemor. Dav Leisov Amadalei Moed Hashem. The holidays of Hashem. Ashetikru So Mikveh Kodesh, which you announce them Eidahem Moadoi. And you start with 6 days a week, and then the Shabbat, then was Kodesh, and then Pesach, the Sukkot, Shavuos, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. Okay. It says over there. Right before this, it says if you want to bring a shor of kesef or eiz, animal or carbon, it should be under its mother for 7 days. Shor or kesef or eiz ki yabol, later is born. 7 days will be with his mother. On the 8th day, and further on, you can accept it as a carbon, Ishal Hashem, but not before 7 days. Why not? Because it needs its mother. It's Tzar Balachayim, or it's. My father brings down the Sefer. It shows the value of time. Time. 7 days. Life means time. And then it brings the Parsha of all the Yom Tovim, which is time. That's why you read this Parsha every single Yom Tov, Pesach, Sukkot, Shavuos. The one that starts here in Rabbi, Yedav Hashem Moshe Lemor. Shor or Kesef or Eiz, or a sheep or a goat, because Yom Tov is time. And this is that the child, the little thing should be with his mother 7 days. Now, it says, Yom Shmi, V'holo Yerotze, it's 8 days except as a carbon. Shor, then it says Shor, a bull, or set, or sheep. Also, it and its son. Also means the father and the son. Those don't check them on the same day, even 5 years later. One thing is don't bring any animal for a carbon before 8 days. Another thing is the parent and the child don't check them the same day, even 5 years later. So why just say also the father when it only means mother? Rashi says it only means nekeva. So why do you have the male form? Because it's a grammatical thing. Shar doesn't say para. Shar is a steer. Oset doesn't say kisva. Since it's zachar, oso is also zachar, and therefore it doesn't refer to just grammatically correct, but it doesn't refer to the facts. From here we learn a tremendous thing. If you take the Torah only, the Bible, you get everything wrong. Because here oso means the father, but it means only the mother. There's hundreds of examples like this. You cannot have the Bible. We don't believe in the Bible. We believe in the Torah, which is both written and oral. This is one example. Oso as beno, him and the son, don't check. The Rashi says, Davka b'nekeva. So why do you have Oso? Because Shor is male, and it says male, so you use male. It doesn't mean that's the halacha. Okay, Rabbi Isai, we just told you why we read this Erev Yom Tov, because it has to do with time. Time is very valuable. The Mayan brings us down. The time is very, very valuable. That's why 5 times a year we have Yom Tovim, and we read this parsha before the Yom Tovim. But then he says, what's the connection between that and giving up your life? Sometimes to a year, time is nothing. You have to give up your life to Hashem. Sometimes time is nothing. You have to give up your time, your life, your future. That's why we say, Kiddush Hashem Barabim. Even though time is so important, sometimes time is not important. You cannot live on. You got to be most in nefesh al pi Hashem. Look at the Mayim. Okay, Rabbi Isai, have a good week.